Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to see about what all programming languages that you need to focus on for AI or ML roles. It may be any programming language, but majorly they do focus on Python. But what all things that it need to be considered in order to become one. So, and also, I'm just going to say how to practice and what are the sources that we need to refer in order to become pro in any language that we are doing. So it is not only Python and OOPS concept. We have multiple things that we need to do if you are like going into full stack AI and ML roles. So first thing, as I said, Python is must, and we know the curriculum in Python. It includes a lot of syntax, data structure problems, and OOPS concepts, and little frameworks inside, and a lot of packages that you need to know in order to explore the data mostly, and PyTorch and Hugging Face ecosystem. Those things you need to have knowledge about, and you can make use of the open platform which is available for those things. Like for Hugging Face and all, we have the website which is for every projects or sample programs which is available to build any applications. The next is SQL. So data science and AI and ML stuff includes data. For that, we need a source. For that, we need a query language in order to fetch those information. For that, just know only the basics like select query, where, group by, having, just to fetch data. If you are in the place where people will fetch the data or give data source for you or direct data to you, don't have to worry about it. But a lot of application or development, it is not like that. So they expect you to be the person to fetch the data on your own so that you won't have any confusions. You know what you want. So directly going and fetching your data finds and makes you do better job. So for that, understanding query language is must. R, it may be like useful for 8 years back, but these days it is not having like much of a development. Most of the things which Python covers, but it depends on which project you're working under. So based on that, try to understand what it is relevant for your project, whether it requires a R programming language for it. It may be for research and development. If it is that, R is enough. But if you are like doing for an actual application, working on actual application, you need a proper backend and front end. So for that, Python and the any front end that it is like React or anything, it is sufficient, I would say. And so do C++ and Julia is another simulating language that they use for numerical and other computational measures. That is also for the research and development. People who do PhD, they do this, and who are into research on physics or any other subjects which is related and predictable applications or approach, they use Julia sometimes, but it is mostly on the scientific computing simulations. Next is bash. Bash or shell command is very important if you are in the deployment phase. So for any MLOps or automation that you take, you need to know these commands in order to pull or push request or any cron jobs. So for that you need to know, and for Docker developments and handling files in Dockers. So for that, shell commands, bash shell commands is very important. Just have a quick commands, just get to know about it, and it will be easy for you to develop. So these are things which I majorly focus: Python, SQL, and Bash commands, which is like majorly I use in everyday basis. So if you are like going for full stack or any application development, you can try out React. That is like major, or HTML is also fine. What to focus on? We know the syllabus for Python, but what all the overall topics that you need to cover is one is data manipulation, just to know how to handle data. For that, we need NumPy and pandas. For the rows and columns or any algorithm prediction, we need NumPy just to have this matrix format in order to handle the array. Because at the end, whatever the rows and columns, we need to convert that into array in order to train the model, right? For that, you need to understand this thing, the pre-processing stuff, and to handle the data, basically. Just to dissect the data and explore it properly, you need this one, NumPy and Pandas. And OOPS concept, yes, in order to write a proper structured code, you need to know about it. And also for ML projects that you can build using this structured like init, len, or get item and inheritance, you need to know all of these. Just have a basic understanding and write a few codes based on that and see like how they have used in other projects in Git. So next is functional tools and generators. This I would say for the a process of a large data set in order to directly stream the data instead of like fetching and storing and using it. Just imagine like handling 10 lakhs of data, 20 lakhs of data. So for that, you need to know like how to map or filter those information without ruining your RAM or memory, anything you take. And I think Python for LLM APIs and agents. This is new because we have AI now. So handling that is major. So how to handle APIs, just understand how API calls works so that you can build agents and you can make the two agents communicate and transfer and receive those information using LLMs. These are the basics for that. So just understand like how API communication works and you can build one. So try connecting front and back end so that it will be easy to make a big picture. Next is project structure. Just understand like the structure of project in Git. Just go explore small projects, how they organize, what all the things that they included and how to ignore certain cases while pushing it into Git and why we push into Git. Just understand why, what it is first. Then SQL is same and Bash is same. Thing is, we need to use SQL also for data analysis and for query pipelines and for query optimization also we need to know. It's like more than checking the purity of your data. So exploring that gives you much. Just imagine like handling millions of rows. So for that, you should know proper tools to handle those and how to sample data. Those things you need to know. So that is that. And Bash, as I said, we have same thing to handle Docker and SSH workflows, client server communication. So this is about handling and managing continuous requests and run programs, like how we can just handle those, getting back all the hyperparameters and again getting back into training into the model, like number of epochs you need to manage, number of training iterations you need to manage. So those things. These are like basics and having good practice on these will help, not just knowing as a definition. And how to practice is my favorite part. I'm not going to say like how to do it, just split a week 2 hours a day and how you going to handle those 2 hours a day. Maybe like Monday to Friday or only in weekends you can just have that, but split 2 hours a day where in first 3 days you just practice codes and the next day you can just start with the SQL puzzles or query solver, and the next day you can just have the bash command, like how the ML and AI stuff works, the complete workflow. Just identify and try to run it build a small sketch and try to run like how it actually works behind it. And you can explore some of Kaggle projects also, how they did a data analysis or how they trained this particular complex data, or how they did the hyperparameters tuning to it. So these are like simple an example I'm saying, but there are like a lot of big things happening. And you will know like a lot of competitions in Kaggle that you can participate, like hackathon or hackathon or anything it may be. Just you can just participate on that worldwide. So have like a, a coding challenge, like just set a timer and try to solve on time. Try fixing medium level of lead code problems, and try exploring lot of research papers that is like major. Just copy and paste that in ChatGPT and ask it to simplify it so that it just simplifies the entire paper for you, and you can just read each paragraph line by line, and it will be like much easier than that. And bug fixing that you can do in Git, just create and that has like a lot of issues. You can just explore that and try to fix any of that. And toy projects that you can upload, and you can just ask an AI to verify your code and ask it to instruct what you can improve in that. So these are like ways to study and practice. So that is how you should practice for AI and ML. It is not like simple full stack development. It includes AI and ML stuff. So you need to know where to change and how to change, and you can actually change in that. So these are very important. And sources, probably we have lead code, that is like major one, but I don't know like how many of that will come under AI and ML, because we have like a lot of things for data structures and relevancy. But you can refer Hugging Face courses for that if you need to understand like complete picture on AI and ML, which is also there are like a lot of free stuffs about it. And neural network zero to hero is one among YouTube videos, complete series which is available by Andrej Karpathy, who's a former OpenAI founder, sorry, developer. So this guy have like huge content which is very helpful, that you can refer. Books you can buy and read, or orally publications most preferably, or Pearson publications also we can prefer. It is there. So SQL, I would prefer lead code majorly. It is that it covers most of it, and it is useful also. And there are like limited resources and useful resources in SQL Zoo, mode analysis SQL tutorial, and DuckDB documentations that you can read and understand like what all the files which is available and relevancy. That's and for Bash, this is like the missing semester. This is actually good, which is free, and also Bash guide by Greg's Wiki, and this one is explainshell.com that you can refer. So R, I don't know many of you are using currently, but try YouTube, POSIT R Studio YouTube, and just install an IDE and practice for R. And C++ for ML, this is like completely new for me, but I prefer the free source libtorch for it. But I've not used any of these like Julia or C++. You can just refer online for that if you are one among those people who uses. But majorly Cabal, exercism.io, Codewares, GitHub. These are like major sources, I would say, and it is available in all languages. Majorly covers Python and relevant bash commands and SQL. And for coding, that is how you need to study and practice. It is not going to come within 1 month or so. You need to dedicatedly focus for almost at least 6 months. Then you can become an expert. Explore a lot of papers published, and understand what is transformer, then you can start with LLM. Without that, it is like really difficult. If you don't understand any term, just Google it or ask ChatGPT. There are like a number of resources available in order to make things work for you. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Bye.